Train by day, Kyle Wigginton podcast by night, all day.
Because like it's something that I feel like our society doesn't do well with today is like the community aspect.
Oh yeah, you got to get out and just naturally meet people, and you can't be too much, you know.
But what is too much?
You know, some people are a little they're a little overwhelming.
Some people would call them,
expect too much, or they approach it with the I can't really explain it. They're just maybe too forward.
But some people would say that I'm too much.
We're all too much, Kyle.
But then, so
well, some people like
negating.
Just like they like leave their house and they're like, let's see how many people I can make uncomfortable, or let me see how many people I can like force myself onto, rather than just kind of reading people and joining in a conversation, friendly and casually, without trying to take over their day or their evening or whatever, and some people just kind of like jump into your conversation and kind of like cling into your, like they're almost forcing you into talking to them, rather than like.
Yeah, I feel that. There's some people that have been around here recently that have been doing that. And I've had to tell them, yeah, I've just had to tell them like leave the groups alone.
Yes.
And I shouldn't have to say this, because like you're a fucking grown adult. You should know that when a group of people comes out to the bar, they probably want to hang out with each other.
Absolutely.
Like you can find an opening for the conversation, but most people just want to kick it by themselves. I find that most people's conversations are boring. They're just so like surface level. And I think even you at times, and I get it, you have a stressful job. So I understand that when you come out to the bar, you don't want to like talk about quantum physics and shit like that.
Oh, absolutely not. But
or hear my wild theories on life.
I mean, whatever. Like people will talk about whatever's going on with their life. Usually whatever's, what's on their mind is what they're going to start talking about. And that's usually what they're dealing with, or whether it's work or personal or, so be it. But then other people, and it's fine. You can mention, or you can kind of seek feedback on things you're dealing with. But some people expect too much.
You're talking about like problems?
Yeah. Like it's like, oh, like you could start talking about, oh, hey, I'm like, I don't know, this is just like something that's bothered me today or something. But like beyond that, it's like, let it go.
I think that's weird. Coming out to the bar to confess your problems.
Yeah. It is bizarre. Like
I'll tell you if something funny happens, like when that lady pissed in my car, like that's hilarious.
Well, like, look, you could talk about whatever, but you can't expect people to have interest in your problems. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you can take your feedback on whatever you say and then just shut up. Like you don't have to like.
Especially if they're problems, like low vibe shit,
Well, most people are in a bar room to get over themselves, you know what I mean? Or anything that's bothering them. They're trying to just like, I had a bad day. I'm going to go have a drink and try to loosen up and have a better time. And then when you come in here and, you're just like bringing the vibe down. It's like, you know what? Go ahead and get out of here. Just go ahead and leave. And it's sad because it seems to be a handful of regular people that do that. And then there's even like people who make people uncomfortable, or they make women uncomfortable. And it's just like, you know what? Let's go drink somewhere else. And I see it far too often that people are maybe having a good time and somebody just like, throws a wrench in their evening and they're like, yeah, I'm not dealing with this. And they just get up and leave.
Yeah. I tend to entertain people probably longer than I should.
Yeah.
Cause for me, it's fun to like, to see the interactions that humans have with each other. Absolutely. So for instance, the other night, I was already telling you about this, but an older gentleman who's an artist came in here and he started ordering his drinks, and there's an autistic guy that was standing right beside him. And the older gentleman, his brain like shut down in the middle of his ordering. He's probably already drunk or something, but he said, I need 2 and then just stop talking. And the autistic guy literally leaned over and checked his pulse and was like, I think you need to go to the hospital. Like that shit was so fucking hilarious to me, dude. So, I mean, it's kind of like, I'll entertain those things.
I don't know. It's just like, can you keep your crazy over there sometimes? You know, like we're all crazy. We're all a little insane. We all go through shit differently. And,
but like, what's the definition of crazy, you know? Cause like, it's a very, like,
I don't know.
broad.
It seems true. It seems pretty normal these days, right?
That's what I'm saying. Like some
it just
people would say
depends on
I'm crazy.
extreme. How extreme is your crazy? You know?
Yeah. So like, what's your scale for this?
I don't know.
On a scale of
most people are at a quality 5 or 6 on most days, and then every once in a while get a good 10.
You think most people are like 5 or 6? I feel like most people are like a 3. Once again, this is me thinking that most people's conversations are boring as shit. Like, I feel like crazy people have interesting conversations.
Yeah.
Because crazy people's minds work very differently. They're having connections that you just don't get in normal people.
I don't know.
And it's probably the reason they're crazy. Like, imagine if your mind was just constantly like fucking geeking out.
Yeah.
Like giving you weird, I don't know, like what actually, so I think it's fascinating too, to talk about like what actually happens in your brain when you're having a thought. So we have a group text message going with my buddies back home.
Yeah.
And one day I was just like, you know, what if I say an elephant wearing a pink tutu? Like, what do you visualize? And one of the guys was like, visualize? He's like, I don't see anything. I see the words. So he only see the words in his head. He can't actually create the image and visualize this.
It'll be a very large tutu, Kyle.
I'm just saying, like, what do you
take a lot of tool to make that?
What do you see whenever I say something like that? Can you visualize the image, or do you just like?
Well, you know, you got to pick your elephant. Are you imagining an African elephant or an Asian elephant? You know, they're two different species of elephant there. You know, one's larger than the other.
Mm-hmm.
You know, do they have tusks? Or you know, we talking a big, beautiful African elephant with big, long tusks.
So you're going through this much detail in your mind whenever I say an elephant.
Are we talking about still a large elephant, an Asian elephant,
See, I think this
shorter?
I think this is avoidance. Like if you just pictured an elephant and a tutu, but now you're like avoiding the.
Well, then it could be a cartoon elephant. You know how we were looking at.
But I mean, this is why you're good at your job, because like your job is essentially problem solving. So you're thinking ahead of like the problems that may occur when a delivery is happening.
Oh yeah, I'm a firm believer in doing things one time. Yeah, I like to avoid problems because guess who's got to deal with them? Me.
Absolutely.
You know, so.
Yeah, so it makes totally sense it makes perfect sense why you would think that way.
Well, a lot of people don't think much through. They don't have much thought in anything they're doing. They're just doing.
Yeah.
And then something goes wrong, and they're like, I don't understand how this happened. And it's like, well, you didn't prepare or think outside the box or realize that this is, you know, maybe has potential problems. We need to, you know, focus on a couple of things to secure that this is in order before we begin.
One of my main pet peeves is when a problem occurs and then someone goes, we have a problem.
Oh, that's my favorite.
Like they don't even like try to attempt a solution. Like I need you to at least like try to solve the problem and then come to me.
Love to throw work on other people. They don't want to think. They don't want to do. This is outside of my job description. No, it's not. It's in your job description.
Yeah, some things are just so easy to solve, though.
Absolutely, no attempt. Everybody likes to hand things over, and it's amazing how many people who can, you know, see a position of power or you know, or hold a higher position in their job, and they can't seem to problem solve and deal with things. They end up just, you know, making somebody who, you know, maybe isn't in the position or pay that they're at handle their problems.
Yeah, I mean, there's actually a term for it that I don't know, but what they do is they'll say that typically whenever a person is come on, brain. When a person is, what's it called when you like move up the scale? You're getting pay raises or you're getting job promotions. Yeah. So when a person is getting promoted in a job, like usually they're really good at their position, right? But maybe they're not good at the next position, so they end up getting like losing their job essentially because they'll get in the next position and they'll suck at it, and they'll either like remove them from the company or they'll knock them back down. So, I mean, some people, there are certain skill sets that you need to manage, and there are certain skill sets that you need to do the jobs, I guess.
Absolutely.
And you would think that the managers would be good at the jobs, and, you know, the people that are good at the jobs would be good at management. But a lot of times it doesn't, they got to have good people skills to manage.
Absolutely. No, it's interesting. It's interesting, the lack of responsibility on most people. And,
you know why, right?
Because everybody has been babied for far too long, Kyle.
I mean, you could say this, but
something in the lines of that. They're used to having somebody to go to.
There you go. It's the educational system. It's like this entire system that we live in is designed for you to seek out someone else to solve your problems.
Mm-hmm.
Think about when you go to school. You go to high school, you're there for 8 hours a day.
Yeah.
Okay. And if there's a problem that occurs, who do you look for? You look for the teacher. You look for the authority figure to solve the problem.
Absolutely.
And they do this on purpose. That way, when you get out of school, you go to work for 8 hours a day.
Mm-hmm.
And when a problem occurs, if it's a massive problem, you look to the politicians and you go, okay, now what are they going to do to solve this problem? You don't actually step up and solve the problem yourself. It's even like the pothole situation that we have here in New Orleans.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I see a lot of men around here that I know could just go buy a bag of asphalt and fill this fucking hole. But instead of doing it, they depend on the city to fix it for them, which clearly doesn't happen unless the fucking Super Bowl is coming to town.
Well, absolutely. I mean, the roads here, there's a whole science to why the potholes are the way they are here.
But I mean, that's just an example.
Oh,
like, there are problems all around us that any man could walk up and go, I'm going to fucking fix this.
Well, if everybody did, light duty problem solving, the world would be hell of a lot better place. But most people kind of recognize that, if I do this one thing, then I need to be doing this all the time. Or this is, they end up having to take on the responsibility that ultimately is not their responsibility.
Right. Because the people are going to look at them and go, okay, solve it again.
And then, and how you're saying, like, the pothole situation, like if I go fill a pothole and then it's not done well,
you're liable for it then.
I may be liable for it.
That's what they told me in the neighborhood.
Is it worth, the risk? And it's like, yeah, well, to fill this hole, yeah, it is worth the risk because I'm tired of running into it.
Remember we had the big pothole run out here?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I actually went around to the businesses here and I was like, look, this is a problem. Like, there's gonna be a wreck here one day, which inevitably happened.
Right. But
I was like, there's going to be a wreck here unless we do something about this. Because the city, it was like for a month or two, there was this huge fucking pothole that kept bigger and bigger.
Mm-hmm.
And they were like, no, we can't do that for the liability issue.
Right.
If we mess it up and then someone has a wreck, then it's on us. And I'm like, we have such a fucked up system.
Yeah. Well, and, and I think there's also an issue with pay and appreciation for, certain jobs. I don't think that New Orleans Department of Public Works or, the Sewage and Water Board or whoever's handling, some of these issues, I don't think they're getting the best people to do the job because they're also not paying the best salary. They're not making the job competitive. They're not making sure they get quality workers. They're taking whoever they can get that will accept the pay they're willing to give them. And then guess what they get? Crap work. So it ends up costing the city more.
Right.
They could have just paid somebody, $5 more an hour,
but no,
and held them to a certain standard.
But it's going to the management, Wayne.
Well,
the management thinks they need to get paid.
Management, and then it's even beyond management. There's all the way to the top person.
Dude, I was recently watching this thing about the homeless situation in Los Angeles. Mm-hmm. And one of the girls, this guy was like breaking it all down. He did like all this research on it and stuff. But when it lays it over the housing authority issue, they asked her how much she got paid. And she said $240 something thousand a year.
Mm-hmm.
And so the guy started looking into it. And at the time of the video, she had actually gotten fired from that position because she had opened 2 consultant businesses on the side that she was using to pay herself extra money.
Yeah.
And then they fired her and she like filed some discrimination lawsuit because she was a lesbian.
Wow.
And and then they actually hired her back. The homeless authority hired her back at a higher position. So now she's making more fucking money, still has these 2 consultant businesses on the side that she's funneling money through. But that's the reason that like none of this shit ever gets fixed, because if you actually solve the problem of homelessness, that woman's out of a job. Like she loves where she's at. She's making $300,000 a year to do nothing.
Right. I mean, I don't know. There's a lot to homelessness, like and you can put all the money into something that you want, or an organization into handling something.
You give me $300,000 a year, I will fucking solve the homeless problem.
I mean,
I'm putting it right here on the fucking table.
I mean,
there's not much that I can't solve if you pay me enough money. The problem is the people that are in these positions are fucking retarded. Like they're not capable of actually doing the work.
Some people are here just for the position.
That's what they're doing. They're accepting the position and they're trying to like.
And some things are a lost cause, Colm. You can put all your love and heart and energy and all the resources, and whether that's financial or physical. And some people don't want help. Some people do not want help. You can't help the people who do not want help.
So
do you know what
I'm going
to
disagree with you there.
You cannot help people that don't want help, Colm.
I understand your argument, but if you have a chemical imbalance in your brain, it's going to seem like you don't want help. But like I was telling you about this new medication, Ibogaine, it's not new.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's been out forever, but it's just now getting into the mainstream narrative. Ibogaine.
Mm-hmm.
Like this is something that could, the reason most people get hooked on opiates and never get off of it is because it's so hard to get off. It takes months to get off of it. It takes years to get off of it. Like you have to stay off this stuff forever. If you're going to go cold turkey,
it's one of the hardest drugs to get off of.
Yeah. So it'll take like over 12 months to get off of it if you go strictly cold turkey.
Yeah.
But if you're using the medications that they have out there, then you can kick it in like a month or two. But at the same time, that's a fucking long time. Yeah. But with this new medication, Ibogaine, it's one dose. And it resets your dopamine levels. So, I mean, there are things out there, and like, it's just now in my brain, there's got to be people out there that have been researching this stuff for a long time if they're actually trying to help people.
Right. Well, I don't know much about that. I'm curious how many, what the data on that is as far as, how many people that they've treated and how effective it was, what the results of their treatment have been.
My point is,
I mean,
these people aren't actually solving the problems. If you said I'm going to pay you $300,000 a year and I want you to go figure out the drug
into a fund, like you don't need to.
I would put it in a fund. I would actually go do the research. So I would find this Ibogaine shit. Mm-hmm. Like I would have I discovered it on my own. Like I'm not actually trying to solve the drug problem.
Yeah.
But like if you actually set me on a mission to solve the drug problem, I would probably find this way quicker than I did. And then I would start distributing the shit out.
Yeah.
Like, and I think whenever you actually get people's dopamine levels reset to baseline, they're not going to be seeking out these vapid existences living under a fucking bridge. Like they're going to realize that it's actually more beneficial, not only to themselves, but to the entire community if they're actually contributing.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. It's a lot of complicated stuff, and it may not be so simple, like where it may seem simple for you. That isn't usually how anything works or goes in this country. There's a lot of legal routes you got to go.
Dude.
Huh?
It's all bureaucratic bullshit.
I mean, sure, absolutely.
Like nothing has to be complicated.
But there's a process for everything, and unfortunately, the process can be more detrimental than than what you're even trying to do. It delays everything. That you can't get anything done timely because you've got to get approval from this, that, and the other. Or
when COVID happened, we fucking we made a vaccine and distributed it to the entire fucking world in 1 year.
Well,
so if we can come together and do this shit, we can actually solve these problems, and it's way more simple than what people make it out to be. Like people want it to be so complex because whenever we actually sit down and talk about it and it seems simple, it's like, why are we not fucking doing this?
Yeah.
Like we want it to be complex. It's not.
I mean, I think there should be, there can be so much, data and so much information that you can get to, to think out and solve your problems, whether that be homelessness or, or anything. I think sometimes it takes going to the root of the problem, going to actually deal with the problem on hand in the community. You know what I mean? Like, okay, what are, while you're saying this woman is the head of the what is it, housing authority, or what did you say she was?
Yeah, something like that. I don't
Something
know.
like that.
I don't know where title
But
is.
it's just like go around, interview every single person living on the street. Not that they're going to be willing to give you an interview, but
No,
if you
probably
can,
not even coherent.
But if you, but if you could get, if you can send around somebody to be like, what do you need? And some of these answers probably be like, I need, drugs, or like, I need, like some of these things. But like, if you can get some people that are willing to give you, a thought out, quality response, and like, this is why I'm homeless. This is what I need to improve my life, or whatever. And it's like, okay. And you take all that information and you kind of, figure out, okay, this seems to be the issue for most people. Like, or we've got a common issue. I mean, really it's, the cost of living is insane.
Mm-hmm.
Especially out in California.
Yeah.
Cost of living's up here. I mean, and most people, and then everything goes up, every product goes up. But the pay doesn't go up.
Right.
You're not seeing anybody.
Pay's actually going down, inflation.
Yeah. You're not seeing people, the pay kind of stays pretty stagnant.
No, the pay goes down, inflation.
But yeah, sure. Yeah. Ultimately the pay stays the same, which ultimately feels more like a reduction.
But it is a reduction. Like
Yes.
if they're printing money, then your money's worth less.
Yeah.
It's called inflation.
Love a good inflation.
Yeah, I mean, the entire system is fucking screwed up.
All system is screwed. But you can't change it.
I think you can. Wait, we've had this conversation a million times. I can't believe I haven't convinced you yet.
Okay.
That it's so simple. Like the entire world is just so fucking simple. And it's all math. All of it is math.
Mm-hmm.
The jelly bean experiment. Like I know I've told you about this, right?
The what?
The jelly bean experiment.
I'm not a big fan of jelly beans, Colin.
Okay, well, there's an experiment that a guy did, and it has to do with the law of large numbers, which is a mathematical concept in law, which means it's like a real thing. It's tangible, right? Okay, so he goes to an office building in New York City, and he asks everyone in there, how many jelly beans are in this jar?
Right.
And then he takes all these numbers that he got. So he got like 5,000 people that he asked how many is, and he averages it together, and he comes within 2 to 3 jelly beans every single time of what's in the jar. And like, he doesn't know what's in the jar before he asks him, but he's getting a range from like, 80 jelly beans to like 80,000 jelly beans. But when he averages them, 2 to 3 jelly beans every single time he does the experiment. And sometimes he's like on the money with it.
That's wild.
Yeah. So it shows that the individual may not know collectively what's true, but if you can actually get enough people together, then you can cut through the bullshit. And whatever this thing God is that we think of, there's an energy bleeding through all of us, and that's the truth. And the truth is like that you actually want to help. So if you can just get enough opinions, enough eyes looking at certain things, and one of the things I talk about is legislation, like Congress. I think Congress is the problem. Congress should be regulating all this shit. Like they should be allocating money to deal with these issues, but they're not, because these people don't have a fucking clue what it's like to be a normal human being. Like most of these people are wealthy beyond imagination.
Oh yeah.
And they're just making money off of the system that we live in, which is a very human thing to do. Like if you see a hole, take advantage of the hole, But like you would think that you would have people in these places or in these roles that are like that want to do the right thing. So they would patch these holes up, but they're not. But I mean, like, so if you can get enough people's eyes on this legislation and the things that they're doing, because we have no clue what they're doing, then you can actually solve the problem. And with things like the blockchain, we can actually do this now. So I know I've talked about this a million times on the podcast, but an app, a very simple app that uses AI to translate legislation into layman's terms so that everyone can understand it. And it also searches the legislation for bloated bills, so I can find things that are hidden that don't actually deal with anything that's actually on the bill. And then it comes to your phone and you simply swipe right or left for yes or no. And then you have a baseline for the way the constituents want their politicians to vote. So you have a comparison mechanism now. So if the politicians vote opposite what their constituents want, now you know.
Yeah, I don't think politics is really for the people, Kyle.
But it could be, is my point. like this, and this would solve so many problems because it would actually make politicians, they know the people's looking over their shoulder. It would make them do the right thing. Because like all these motherfuckers want to do is get elected for another term. So literally everything they're doing is to get elected for another term.
I mean, sure.
Yeah. So they're accepting money from lobbyists and then just trying to get elected again. Because it's a job for them. They just want to show up and get a paycheck.
I would say there's more consideration for the people when your terms are limitless, where you can have as many terms as you can. But when your term's limited, you're usually focused on your donations and who's paying for your campaign. So that may be major corporations, big business. It's who you're favoring. There's usually
the lobbyists, the ones that are giving you money to vote a certain way. But that shouldn't be the case. And it wouldn't be the case if people could actually look at it and go, hang on, the majority of people in my area wanted them to vote this way, and they voted opposite this. So now something's going on here. There's some kind of like mix up here. It's even like with the Ibogaine shit. Like that's a Schedule I drug, but there are scientists out there now that are studying this stuff. And Texas is like one of the big proponents of it. But they're studying this stuff and they're going, dude, this is a miracle drug. Yeah. Like in it's Schedule I, and you can't even get these politicians to consider moving it over, taking it off Schedule I. So like age is a big issue in politics too, because even the one of the podcasts I was listening to about Ibogaine, it's an older governor. The guy's like in his fucking 70s. So, and he, even now when he's talking about Ibogaine, because he's like on the Ibogaine train now. Yeah. But he's not on any of the other psychedelic trains. It's like, he's like tunnel focused on this one psychedelic's great. But it's like, what about the rest of them? Like, can you not broaden your perspective and go, hang on, maybe all of these are pretty good?
Good things take time, Kyle. It's really the issue.
Oh, Wayne.
And if we're talking about trains, I prefer the party train or the love train.
I don't know, man. All these things just seem simple to me. Maybe I have too much time on my hand to think about them.
I guess. I don't know. People are going to do whatever they want. And then I think another issue too is you got a lot of stupid people in this world.
Right. But if we...
Or a lot of closed-minded or a lot of people with opinions. Everybody's got an opinion, which is great. But
if we refer back to the law of large numbers and the jelly bean experiment, yes, there are stupid people in this world, but it doesn't matter. Because if you can get a large enough sample size, you can get to the truth.
Well, there's stupid people who are very bright. You know what I mean? There's people who
wanted to vote for Kamala. I get it.
No, they're
fucking idiots.
No, there's people who are very smart, maybe have a degree, have all this stuff, but are stupid in certain things. You know, you approach them with something and they have maybe a
like what? Give me an example.
I can't really give you an example. You know what I mean? Like they can't, they don't think things through. They may be super smart, but they don't know everything. They don't know everything. And they may assume that this is supposed to be this way rather than like, no, this is actually what's going on, or this is what's happening.
Well, it's just, so they're ignorant. They just don't have the correct knowledge. It's not that they can't. Yes. Yeah.
And there's people that are confident with ignorant information.
Some people would think that about me.
Mm-hmm. They love you, Kyle. They can't stand you, but they love you.
Yeah. I think I have great ideas. I think I have a pretty good concept of what's actually going on in the world too. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that I don't have access to, like information wise. But I think I have a good enough foundation to where if I'm presented with correct information, I can make a solid choice that is the best for everyone, or the best for the majority. So I had a podcast a while back with Fiona McDonald and Fiona McQuinn. And she is teaching philosophy and theosophy now, but she was a science teacher. So going from hard sciences to now this like soft science approach, but she was presenting me with all these like philosophical conundrums on here. And it was really fun to think through these problems. And, you know, one of the fallback questions. Oh shit.
They're after me, Kyle.
One of the fallback questions for these like philosophical things is the train track.
Should
thing.
I answer it?
No, don't answer it. The train tracks. Okay. So like if you have a train that's barreling down the track and you have the switch right here that you can throw, and there's a baby on one side and there's an adult on this side, it's your mom. Your mom's on this side. There's a random baby on this side. Are you going to throw the switch to kill your mom, or are you going to kill the baby? Granted, that's a really tough one to start out on, but
I don't know that baby.
okay. So that was different from my answer.
Well,
because I thought of it this way. I thought of it as in a time thing. So like if you actually take the relationship out of it and you say, how much time does this human have? How much time does this human have?
sure.
And you can even do it with like, there's 5 adults over here. There's 1 baby over here.
Mm-hmm.
Like how many more years do you get if you add up the amount of years potentially they could have? Because they could die tomorrow, you know? So that's kind of how I think about these things. It's like,
I don't know. It's hard to value everyone's life, right? It's
is it?
no, but you know what I mean? Like how you're saying, like on an age point, it's like, oh, this baby has it's got a whole lot more life to live, than let's say your elderly mother or something. But it's just like, it's too, I don't know, too complicated to like pick and choose like who's more worthy just based on like simple factors like that.
That's why you have to start taking away variables, such as relationship.
Yeah, you're right.
I mean, I guess if the person was not your mother, it's just a random adult, and a random baby.
They could both be crazy, Kyle.
Yeah, one could be baby Hitler,
You don't know what you're getting yourself into. Yeah.
Right.
You have no idea. And everybody.
But there are always hidden variables in any decision that you make. Would you actually make a decision, or would you just like walk away from the situation?
I don't like to choose.
So basically, whatever God or whatever fate had in store, or whatever the switch was thrown in the beginning, that's what you just walk away from it.
Sorry, wrong person to ask. You got to move on to somebody else, and put it in somebody else's hands.
But I feel like you can make a choice in the situation if you step away from
Seems a little ridiculous.
The relationships, and you go, this is the amount of time this person has. This is the amount of time this person has. 'Cause that's really the only time is literally the only value that we have on this world. Money's nothing. Money's just made up.
Yes, it is.
What?
Time.
Time what?
It's on our side. Yes, it is.
Is that like
It's a fucking song, Kyle.
Okay.
Come on.
I don't know it.
What do you mean?
What is it?
It's literally called Time Is On Our Side.
You gonna sing it for karaoke tonight?
No, I'm not singing that.
Karaoke roulette tonight, you know that, right?
What does that mean? Is that like random?
Look, I guess
music?
we'll stop talking philosophical, and we'll come back to reality.
Can we get let's
make it Wayne upset.
We're getting a little chaos over
Okay,
here.
So karaoke roulette, which we do ever so often at the bar whenever we have a sponsorship come through. So tonight we're sponsored by, and this will be out not tonight, obviously, but occasionally we'll have a sponsor come to the bar. And tonight is Sun Cruiser is going to be sponsoring us. And what they'll do is you sign up for karaoke, and normally you would sign up your name and a song, but you'll just put roulette. And then Towner or Blazing Haven, our host, will get to choose a song randomly for you.
Oh, well, then maybe I'll sign up. That sounds fun, but I'm a little nervous.
And you get a free Sun Cruiser if you do it.
That's sweet team.
Yeah.
What you got? You got both, or you just got
I have the lemonade too. Yeah, the lemon iced tea and the regular tea.
And the regular tea? Okay.
Yeah. And it's Sun Cruiser. It's pretty good.
Do they have just a lemonade, or is it all?
I think it's lemon tea. I don't really know.
So I know there's like a tea lemonade one, and then I'm not sure of all their products. I haven't had one yet. Is that any good?
They're decent. Good. Yeah, I've tried
vodka?
them. Yeah, it's vodka
malt?
tea.
Okay.
Yeah, straight vodka.
Okay.
That's good. Yeah, it'll be a fun little thing. And it's random, so you never know what song you're gonna get. Kind of like, adds a little bit to it. The few times that I've actually sung karaoke here, I didn't sign up at all. I just was announced that Kyle needs to come to the stage, and they wanted to spring a few on me, and I had no clue what fucking song it was. And I just got up there and fucking murdered it, bro.
I know. I heard.
Were you here?
No, I heard about it. I don't think anything will beat my Sexy Red performance.
You said Sexy Red?
Yeah, Get It Sexy. It was beautiful. I had people coming inside. You know, people hang outside the whole time. They started flowing into the bar, Kyle. Karaoke's got a crowd, but they ain't always watching. And I know on this roulette that Blazin will make sure to pick something, I think, per individual.
Oh yeah, she's nice.
To maybe embarrass or maybe get the party started. You know, I think I love the karaoke night. It seems to be a little bit on the down lately. It seems to be a little less than amazing as far as the crowd. I don't know where everybody's been. Maybe they've been busy. Maybe they stopped drinking. Maybe they're singing somewhere else. Can't do that.
Maybe so. Don't be doing sponsorship.
We like to see good mood music in here. All right. We want to see some fun, you know, keep the party alive. So bring the party.
Yeah. I mean, whenever you do sign up for Karaoke Roulette, the cool thing about this bar is we typically all know each other. So we know, and especially Blazin, she's here every weekend. So she knows the range that people can do vocally.
Yes.
So, I mean, she tries to pick a song that will work for you. Yeah, the night that I was announced to come to the stage, she actually picked a song that she could sing because she was over at the side helping me out too.
Yeah.
I had no clue what the fucking song even was. I don't remember right now either.
I got a couple things on my mind. I never actually sign up. I usually just stand outside and think about it and sing a couple of random songs with people.
Oh, you just like jump in with them?
Yeah, I know. I joke about songs outside and then never sign up. It's usually my go-to. Sing to myself. It helps if somebody just signs me up, but please pick, you know.
I mean, I'll sign you up right now.
No, but you know, pick appropriately. And
where's
pick
the QR
QR code? It's around here somewhere.
I'll start scanning it right now, putting people on it. Where does that go to? Like Google Sheet or something?
Yeah, it's like a Google, something like that.
That's cool. I didn't know you could even do that. Is it Google Docs? Is that what it is? Like an Excel sheet?
So. I think it's a Google Doc. And
I need to get with him on that. That's dope. I feel like I
forgot how that got set up or what, but
I feel like I could do some cool stuff with that, you know?
Mm-hmm. I don't know. I think we could improve the karaoke even more.
What do you want to do?
It could get even more professional in here.
Like what? What should we do?
I don't know. Could get another speaker.
Come on, it's loud enough.
Get a better sign up. We could get an additional screen to post the queue, so people can see where they're at.
Wouldn't that be cool?
Wouldn't that be something?
Yeah.
A lot of people are like, when am I getting called? When am I getting called? They leave or they're nowhere to be found. You know, maybe you wouldn't have to find them if they knew they were coming up soon. Or
could we like put it in the window or something so people outside could see it?
You could maybe even put it right here on the shelf, just on a little monitor, the queue.
I like this.
I mean, if you got a more professional karaoke program, it would show the queue. I don't think you would even have to do that.
But I think he likes using YouTube.
I mean, it's understandable. It's more cost effective.
Well, no, I think he's just like, you can find literally any song you want to on there. I think some of the karaoke programs that you get, they're limited songs.
Some of them are pretty good.
But Cat's Meow, like they only have a limited song list.
They got a lot. I mean, realistically, so like if you're singing karaoke, the song that you're picking should be a well-known song. Like it should be a commercial hit.
Bro, Sexy Red would not be on a Cat's Meow's karaoke.
It was all Cajuns had it. Didn't have all of it, but they had, you know.
What program do they use?
I don't know what they use, but they've got like a whole little touch screen. Like you go up to it, you type in the song you're looking for, you put your name in, and it like goes to the host. Like it sounds separated.
Expensive. It sounds like I'm gonna have to raise the drink prices.
They are strictly a karaoke bar. So like, yes, if you were doing karaoke every night, you would need to invest more in your karaoke operation.
They do karaoke every night?
Every night.
And it works?
It works.
How in the fuck do they stay busy with karaoke?
I love that
night?
shit.
That's crazy. I've never been to Cajuns.
It's fun.
Maybe we'll go check it out.
I would say this stage presence is a little better.
Our stage?
Yeah, I think
bro. If our stage is better than theirs, then come on. Like, I mean, you know, if people come in here at nighttime and see the stage, they're probably like, yeah, it looks nice. But if you see it right now in the daytime, it's been beat all to shit.
I mean, this is a dive bar, Kyle. It's a beautiful piece of shit.
It is. It is that.
Beautifully shitty. We
was a
don't
guy
want it
here-
any other way. We don't want it too nice.
There was a guy in here Friday that was bragging on it.
On how nice this place was?
Hey, he's like, dude, this is the best dive bar I've ever been in. He's an older guy. He's like in his 70s. He's taking pictures and shit.
It is a pretty cool little spot. I mean, I love it. You know that. I don't know why I was never in here before until I moved into the neighborhood.
Where did you live before?
I used to live in Black Pearl.
Where's that at?
It's like Leak Avenue on the river between Broadway and St. Charles. I'm moving Broadway and Carrollton.
Okay.
So like the neighborhood that runs on that side of St. Charles from Broadway to like Cooter Browns.
Yeah, I heard that neighborhood's like,
It's kind of dead.
yeah, it's dead on purpose because they won't let anything move in.
There's nothing going. Yeah, there's not much going on.
That's what we were going to try to open the other bar out over there, and they won't let us get permits for it.
Oh, they won't?
No. Maybe that even because we were trying to do like
You must have somebody that lives in that neighborhood that's on the board or something that's like dogging it.
probably, I don't know, but even like we're trying to do this little outside event to like just to show people what could be.
Yeah.
And they wouldn't let us get a permit for that. And I was talking to the guy who owns Cooter Browns the other
You gotta
night.
kiss somebody's ass, man. You gotta have some pull somewhere.
Yeah, I was talking to the guy that owns Cooter Browns, and he was like, "Yeah, dude, we have to deal with that fucking neighborhood all the time, and it's a nightmare." So he's like, "Good luck with that." I should just run for mayor, dude.
Well,
I feel like I could solve a lot of these problems that
Helena
people-
Moreno looks like our next mayor. I don't think you have any competition.
Well, so like
Yeah.
think about what they did with the homeless people for the Super Bowl.
Oh yeah, the amount of money spent on that is wild to me. It is.
So what did they do?
I don't know. They like picked them all up,
Mm-hmm.
or they, if they had somewhere to go, they comped them a bus ticket if they had family somewhere. But they put them in some facility that is like a former like port warehouse on the industrial canal over in Gentilly.
Yeah.
And I mean, obviously they're offering them services and whatever. They've got them staying there.
There's been a lot of complaints.
It's ridiculous. I mean, and you can't really force people around. But the homeless down here is just it's a mess. I mean, I think it's a mess everywhere. I think people are tired of dealing with it, and it's.
But then solve the fucking problem.
Well, there's too many people that are bad eggs in the mix that are ruining it for others. You know what I mean? There are probably some people that are just simply down on their luck and don't have somewhere to live and are just whatever doing their best to get by. But then there's plenty of others that are doing whatever they want freely all day long.
It's freedom.
From, criminal acts to petty theft.
I like it. Freedom.
And even people that aren't homeless, like petty theft is, people love petty theft.
Yeah, the police won't do anything about it either.
They don't care. And that, you want to talk about inflation, that drives inflation, petty theft. That's why you see stores close, because the amount of shoplifting is just they're not making any money. They're losing more money than they're making. Or they can't secure the place, and you see,
yeah, I was telling the guy, cause that, Walmart's doing something a little different now with their shoplifting program. So their self-checkout, typically what they'll do is, people will go through the self-checkout and they'll like, pretend to swipe something, throw it in the basket.
Yeah.
They're monitoring all this stuff, but they won't say anything to you unless you steal over the amount they can arrest you for. So they're basically keeping a database full of these people. And whenever you finally get to the point where it's like over the limit where they can get you arrested, they'll come and arrest you at the store.
Sounds right.
Yeah, I think
Target's doing something similar to that.
Yeah, I think it's a great plan. People that steal shit.
I mean, even people, they deal with enough. I mean, even if it wasn't customers stealing, you got enough employees that steal, or do like fake returns, stuff like that. Like there's people that, walk out with stuff, whether they work there or not, or just shopping there. And then some things go unscanned, oh, I thought I scanned all of this. Or, some things just walk out of there by mistake, by accident,
Well, and the question is is this inevitable that people do this, or are they just responding to the environment that they're in? If you think that your politicians are stealing constantly and you can't do anything about it, then why would you not do it?
Well, I think, I don't know.
If you think these corporations are just literally taking advantage of you all day long, why not take something from them?
Well,
I think humans are responding to the environment.
I would say if you're going to steal, it's better to steal from corporate America than small businesses.
Yeah, absolutely.
And realistically, these corporations have a budget for loss every year. Like they realistically put that in their budget on whether it's theft, or damage or whatever. They have an estimate on how much they're going to lose annually, and when it exceeds that, is when it starts to become a problem because it starts to affect their budget more. They're not seeing the profits that they want. And then still these companies are super profitable, but you see these Walmarts close. You see Walmarts close. You see
Walgreens.
Oh my God. They love to steal from the Walgreens. They absolutely love to steal from the Walgreens. And that's why everything in Walgreens is like $20 freaking dollars.
Or locked behind a case.
You know what I mean? And you're getting these outrageous prices to make up for the losses. Like why is my deodorant almost $10 at
Oh, is that really what they're doing? They're marking it up that much?
Yeah, like they're like charging you convenience store prices on everything now.
I don't guess I've ever noticed it.
Like if you ever go in there and you're just like, what?
I never really go in Walgreens.
I don't go in there either, but it's just wild, It's like, all right. And then the luck of finding somebody that's willing to open the case and get you whatever you're trying to buy. And then they I got to take this to the register. You got to, it's just like, I'm just buying like an $8 thing of something, or like, it just, the whole thing's crazy.
Bro, they think you're sus, man. They're taking your stuff to the register. They just give it to me.
No, they usually just give it to me, but it just depends. I mean, everybody's got their...
But I'm going to go back to my question. Do you think people are just responding to their environment? Because we do live in an environment that is pretty toxic.
I think so. And I think a lot of people's environment is, what can I get away with? And they really run with it. Some people get a lot of joy out of what they're allowed to do. Dude,
people stealing paintings and shit off the wall in this bar. I think that's definitely a joyous thing.
I mean, people, I think, steal bar signs all the time in every bar. And then you're also dealing with people impaired. So they're not thinking, I
hate that though, man. Someone takes a fucking painting off the wall and walks outside with it. It's like, come on, dude.
Well, I wouldn't mind if they ran off with these flamingos, but you screwed that to the wall.
Hell yeah. I'm going to start screwing everything to the wall. Surprised nobody's taken baby Jesus yet. It's just hanging out over there. We need to put it back on the...
Yeah, we got to glue baby Jesus back on the three-headed wise man over there.
Yeah, I have some glue at the house. I'll bring it up here. I would have brought it today if I would have thought about
Lizzie.
it. Yeah, even the other wise man fell off too, right?
Well, I think it's, I don't even know if it's three wise men or if it's Joseph and two wise men. And then baby Jesus was coming out of the chest with a very interesting art sculpture of a nativity scene.
Did I tell you someone offered to buy that?
How much did they offer?
They just said, how much is it? And I was like, dude, it's not for sale. One of my old employees gave it to me. But that's crazy. Of all the shit in here, someone offered to buy the three-headed statue.
What's your offer? I would have said, you can have it.
Yeah, I can't sell that. If someone gifts us an art piece, we're going to keep it in here until someone steals it.
Well, I guess somebody knocked it down. And baby Jesus is now...
I mean, it's sitting there in the sun. It probably just baked off.
No, I think it fell over. But yeah,
Wayne, dude, I appreciate you stepping in today.
You're welcome.
Yeah,
What's going on?
I had a guest cancel on me. So it's good to...
Can't rely on anybody.
I mean, he apologized. Maybe he'll come back. Hey, the guy who was supposed to come on,
he'll be back.
It's whenever he comes on, it's going to be an incredible conversation because we've already like preemptively had a conversation at the bar one night. And it was awesome.
Yeah, you're right.
Anything you want to leave the people with?
Be nice. Be considerate. Not everything's about you. And
I feel like that was directed to me.
No. And I was looking at you. And not everything's going to go your way, baby. Get used to it.
It's true.
It ain't the first time or the last time. So keep on rocking. All right? And smile a little bit more. Even if it's a fake smile. Show them teeth while you got them.
Good advice, Wayne.
Yeah, you're right.
Thank you, brother.
You're welcome.